So now I want to talk about the special type of endocytosis. So it's called receptor-mediated endocytosis, or also known as Clathrin-mediated endocytosis. So Clathrin is actually the protein involved in this endocytosis. So basically, this type of endocytosis, they use receptor proteins on the cell surface. So basically, it involves binding of a ligand or substance to the receptor proteins lying on the surface of the cell. So basically, it's quite specific. So as you can see from the diagram, you can see that we have the receptor and you have the ligand, which is the material that we want. All right. So one thing you need to know that you see here, there's the invagination of plasma membrane, right? Like a dent or a pit. So this is what we call as coated pit. So this coated pit, there's a reason why it is called coated, because it is coated with something. And what is that something? That something is what we call as clathrin. Therefore the name for this process is clathrin-mediated endocytosis. So basically the pit, okay, not throughout the surface of the cell, but in certain parts of the cell, right, it is basically coated with this protein. So you have receptors, right, binding with the ligand, and they move towards this coated pit. And so what happens the moment they move there? So these coated pits start to fold it inward, okay, further invaginated, and eventually they form this coated vesicle, okay. As you can see here, the molecule binds to the protein receptor. So now these complex receptor molecule complex, they start to move to the area, to the coated pit, to the area where there's clathrin coated pit. So once they are there, so basically they trigger the area, the coated pit, to further invaginate, right, to further fold it inward, and eventually they're gonna form this coated vesicle, right. So these vesicles fuse with an endosome. All right, so here you can see an endosome. So they take away, okay, the receptor. They basically remove the molecules, okay, from the receptor, and this receptor will be taken up back to the cell membrane for recycle, okay, to be recycled, used back again. And whereas what happened to these molecules, that molecules will be transported to lysosome for further digestion, okay. So what kind of molecules that normally we take into the cell by using clathrin mediated, basically iron and cholesterol are the materials that are transported by using clathrin mediated endocytosis. Okay, see ya.